All right, so this is gonna be my How Millionaires Invest video. If you don't know who I am, quickly I'll let you know. My name is Luke. Became a millionaire at 19 off my marketing agency, Del Priori Hospitality. I amassed my first couple million by 20 through that business. You could go take a look, do your research, whatever. So the question is, how do I actually invest my money? Well, I have 3 questions that I ask myself anytime I make an investment. And just so you know, these are investments that I'm making strictly outside of my business. So obviously I invest money into my personal health. I invest money into saving time. I invest money back into my businesses. Those are areas that obviously I invest money. But if you want to know how I invest money, for example, into different assets that are outside of my business, there's a couple questions that I will ask myself. Now, the first question is, do I understand it, right? Because I only buy things that I actually understand. I'm not going to buy something just because of a fear of missing out. So many people talk and they're like, oh, you're going to be late on that crypto project if you don't buy in now. You didn't buy Trump coin, so you didn't make this 100x. And it's like, yeah, maybe I would have made 100x. Maybe I would have even made 1,000x. But if I don't understand the asset, if I buy something, I'm screwing myself. Because now, even if it does go up and I make money on the investment, I don't understand why I made money on the investment. So therefore, to be able to repeat it is not going to be predictable. Therefore, I made money gambling. And that's not how I make my money. Legally, of course. Well, seriously, guys, if you can't repeat it, you didn't really do it the right way. That's my investment thesis up front. If you can't do something that has a track record historically to give you a certain yield and a certain result, it's not investing, it's gambling. So that's the first thing I ask myself is it something that I actually understand? If I don't understand it, I'm not touching it. One asset that I understand very well is Bitcoin. So I buy a lot of Bitcoin because I know it's scarce. I understand they can't make more of it. I understand that there's a lot of marketing surrounding it. I understand that there's a lot of demand. I understand that it's being exchanged. So there's not going to be a Bitcoin video, but I understand Bitcoin very well. I understand the value of hard silver very well. Buy a lot of hard silver. I understand the value of things like real estate investment trusts. So not buying physical real estate, but by basically spending money with a company that raises money to go out and buy real estate projects. And then you get a dividend for basically the rents that are going out or whatever cash flow that property makes. I understand REITs. So these are things that I buy. Second question I ask is it actually fully passive? Now, a lot of people like this idea of passive income. Passive income is bullshit. At a certain point, you need it to work for the income that then becomes passive. So all income, in my opinion, is active. That's just how it is. However, there's levels of activity with income that is generated. So for example, for me, with my marketing agency, that's where I make the most active income, right? So through my actual business, I'm working my ass off to make money through recruiting new salespeople, closing deals, hiring new people. That's where I'm making 6 figures a month plus, right? But through that business, what I then do with the money is I obviously invest it. Now, something like the S&P 500 is purely passive. I buy it, I need to do no active management once I buy it. Something like Bitcoin, once I buy it, I need to do no active management. I buy it, I chill. A real estate investment trust, I buy it, I need to do no active management. I chill, and it's there, it's an asset. Any of the assets that I buy, I do not want to have to actively manage. So for example, a lot of people ask me, Luke, why don't you buy real estate? Because when I buy the S&P 500, it doesn't call me saying, hey, my toilet's broken. It just doesn't. And the historical return is still fantastic. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, was basically simply historically a stock investor. It's what he did. So what I always think about is I look at the greats, I look at what they did, and then I try to kind of emulate their plan and I try to follow their formula. So from an investment perspective, I like things that are incredibly, incredibly passive because most of my actual time is spent running the business and running my business. And then the third thing that I'm going to ask myself, because like I said in the beginning of the video, three primary things I ask myself. The first thing that I ask myself is, do I understand it? The second thing I ask myself is it actually passive? Because I don't want to have to manage the asset. The third thing I ask myself, which kind of ties into the second thing, is it liquid, right? Now, I know this is like, well, not every investment needs to be liquid. Yes, I know not every investment needs to be liquid. I have watches, I have lots of Rolexes. Those are very illiquid. I would need to then sell them to get the capital to then maybe make a little bit of money on the watch. I have hard silver. That's not liquid. But 90% of the investing that I do is done liquid. So something like a crypto project that I can buy and sell quick and have cash. Something like a stock portfolio that I make an investment in. I can buy and sell it quick. I have cash. Cash on hand is where I have made the largest sums of money in my career because it gives me money for opportunities that pop up. If all my money's tied up in something where I have no access to the funds, if an opportunity comes up quick that I understand, I'll have no opportunity to dive in because I have no cash. So the third investment thesis that I have, the third question I pop to myself is it liquid? Because I've always done my best work with things that are liquid. I'm not a real estate investor. That's just where I'm at in my career right now. That might change in the future. I might end up going into big real estate projects and I might end up buying land and building things on that land. If you look at a ton of billionaires, they own a lot of land. I'm just giving you what I do so you guys can understand what I do as someone that runs an online business. What I think about, guys, if you're really thinking about investing, is I think about the ultimate freedom. You know what freedom is? Freedom is waking up in a healthy body, making money, and basically doing what the fuck you want. So if you're gonna get rid of your freedom for the sake of owning a real estate project, which you now need to manage for hours in a week, you don't wanna do it, you don't fully understand it. If you're already making the kind of money that you wanna make and you're on pace to continue growing and scaling it, don't put yourself in a position where you go into a project or an endeavor that you don't even want to be in because real estate is the best investment. The best investment is the investment that you understand that serves your lifestyle. It needs to serve your lifestyle. That's a fact. So many people buy things just because it's buzzword, it's hype, people want to talk about it. No, you need to serve your lifestyle. For me, I like buying Bitcoin because I've seen the historical return and yield has been tremendous. And you know what? I don't lose any sleep buying it. When I see the price go up and down, I'm like, great. I know over time it's going to continue going up, and I don't stress about it because I fully understand it. I'm not losing my peace of mind when I buy that asset. I'm actually gaining peace of mind when I buy an asset like Bitcoin. So for me, I like to buy the things I understand. I like to buy the things that I don't need to really actively manage. And I like to buy things that are primarily liquid because it serves my life well. I sleep good at night knowing that I have zero debt. Okay, so my businesses that I run have zero debt. I've not borrowed a penny from the bank because I'm not a bank slave. I've borrowed no money from the bank. I have no outstanding debts. Everything's liquid. Everything's paid off, cash if I have it. My G-Wagon, that's paid off. My Aston Martin, that's paid off. Apartment, that's paid off. No debts in the businesses, nothing. Everything is paid off. So to me, that's peace of mind. That's financial freedom and liberty to me. Now that might mean something else for you, but to me, it's the peace of mind that I gain with how I actually invest my money. Now, everyone has a different thesis. That's just personally what I do. Build your own strategy, do whatever you think is actually best for you. But if you're someone that doesn't make a lot of money, like $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month, you should only be investing into figuring out how to earn more income, because financial freedom and liberty never happened to me until I hit a certain level of actual earned income. And the best way to make money, if I were to just go out and restart, would be either through being an agency sales partner. So I would work with someone that owns an existing marketing agency or sales-based company, and I would go sell for that person's business and make a massive commission. Or I would go start my own marketing agency, work with local businesses, help them generate leads and more business, sell them software, and charge them a monthly fee to do so. If you do things like that, you'll be making really good money. And maybe that's not your model. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to be in cybersecurity. Maybe you want to go sell solar door to door. Whatever it is, you need to increase your earned income. Everything is going to fall after that. Don't worry about investing if you're broke, but if you're already making good money between $20,000 and $50,000 a month, and obviously above that, and that's enough income for your lifestyle, and you want assets outside of your earned income, for me, that's my strategy. I buy a lot of Bitcoin, I buy a lot of S&P 500, I buy a lot of tech stocks, I buy other crypto projects like Solana, XRP, a lot of the blue chip stuff that I understand. That gives me peace of mind. I don't go out of my way to get involved in things that I don't understand, and I don't go out of my way to buy things that make me lose my peace of mind. That's why I don't have tenants. I have enough clients in my marketing business that I need to worry about. And I also think about it like this, guys. If I'm making really, really, really good money through my business, my marketing agency, which I am, if I go into an investment that pulls me away from the time that I would spend expanding my business, there's a level of opportunity cost there that I'm going to miss, which is why I like to buy things that are passively managed. So I can spend all my time focusing on doubling down on my business, making the businesses more profitable, because that is where I'm getting the highest return on investment. That's my thesis. That's how I do it. Let me know what you do.